Welcome. I'm Kathleen Marie, and this is Lake Country Currents on the road. And we're on the road again this time at the Westonka Winterfest. And I have with me here Brian Schultz, who is one of the organizers of this wonderful winter event. Brian, would you like to tell us a little bit about this event and what your involvement is?
Well, basically, we came to a decision back in September that we were going to go ahead and try the Winterfest again. We've had some problems in the past due to snow conditions that
Weather
the races,
problems. Mm-hmm.
Right, that the race didn't take place. We also took a closer look at what it is that we really wanted to do and set down a plan for the next 3 years to develop this into what we hope would become a metro-wide event.
And you say we, and now do you want to elaborate on that a little?
Well, basically, when I say we, I mean the club, the Lions Club.
Lions Club. And which Lions Club is
the
this?
North Westonka Lions.
Okay.
And our goal here is to make this a profitable event, and thus we can help out in the charities that we serve.
I see. So the Lions do have fundraisers throughout the year, and this is the main winter event, is that so?
That is correct, and I think what we decided that we're really taking I guess the term would be profit motivated. I mean, we've really sat down to say that we're going to do this not only to put on a community event, but to make it profitable, and so the community can benefit from something like this, not only from the event, but to those things that we contribute back into the community.
So I understand, I heard the other night that you organized that it was going to snow prior to this event so that we'd have some nice fresh snow. Is that the truth?
I made them believe that anyhow.
Well, I know that all of you Lions really have a good time. I've been to a few of the Lions Club meetings, and they have a real good time even in organizing and planning these events. Some of the activities that are planned for tomorrow, can you elaborate on those?
Well, we have both Saturday and Sunday. We have the Jaycees are hosting a softball tournament on 2 fields on the ice.
And they call that ice ball.
That's what I understand. We have some demonstration ice diving. Are you going
to get in?
No.
You're not going to do
that? No. We obviously have the sled dog races.
And that's the major event at this point, isn't it?
Right. And we want to expand that. We want to expand the number of events for next year. We're looking at some type of snowmobile competition. We're also looking at ice fishing contests. There are numerous things we can do, and one of the ways, the only way to get to bring people out there is to offer a variety of events.
Mm-hmm. And of course to have the nice weather too that we're having this weekend.
Well, we got lucky. You know, that, I mean, it could easily be 25 below.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's just something, or it could be a snowstorm, but that's just, we roll the dice, and we're looking for a good turnout because it's supposed to be 42 degrees tomorrow, and I think in the upper 30s on Sunday. So sometimes you get lucky with the snow we just had, and I call for the warm weather also.
Right. Okay, so right now we're at the sign up for what they call the mushers. Those are the dog racers, and we're at the Holiday Inn here, and it's kind of a little cocktail party, hors d'oeuvres, and we're going to get to meet a lot of these, all of the mushers, right?
Yes.
Is there any other activities going on this evening for the event?
No, this is it. This is where they pick up their registration packets. I'll give them a little welcome and do some housekeeping items for their competition and such, and kind of let them know also what our plan. I don't think they know that they're in a 3-year business plan along with us, but I'm going to notify them of that tonight, and then they do some internal housekeeping items. They get a briefing on the track and some things like that.
So you say that now you're referring to a club of...
It's the North Star Sled Dog Association.
Okay. But they come from all over the state of Minnesota or other states as well?
Most of them are from the upper Midwest. When I came in a couple minutes ago, someone had showed up from Alaska. That seems to be our furthest participant. We've got some participants from Manitoba and Quebec, and then the surrounding 5-state area.
It sounds like a real diversified group. It should be fun to see what goes on. I've never seen a dog sled race, so I don't know. Do you think you're going to get a chance to be on one of the sleds, Brian?
No, I got plenty to do over the weekend, and we'll let that up to the professionals.
Okay, now I understand too that there's activities for children too at the event.
We've put some games of skill. What we really wanted, and this is something that we've talked about, is again, in order to get people out there, we have to do things that will make the kids go to mom and dad and say, we want to go down, we want to go to the Westonka Winterfest, and the dogs themselves automatically attract children. I mean, that's so. And we're adding some games of skill, and we're going to try to do some rides. That's in the works right now.
Sleigh ride.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there'll be some things too for the kids to do other than watch the dogs. But they get pretty interested in the dogs, and they're pretty interesting to watch.
That's right. And also, I understand that there'll be some celebrities on the dog sled races.
Well, we asked Don Shelby about 2 months ago, and without even asking us what it was we wanted him to do, he said, "You tell me what you want me to do, and I'll be out there." Because how we came into this thing a little bit late and made a lot of decisions on this late. The priority of getting a lot of celebrities, but I think what we might take the approach and let Mr. Shelby get some more celebrities out, and hopefully he'll bring some out. We've got some of the local politicians that I know are going to come out and participate in some races.
Okay. So this event goes on both Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 3, and Don Shelby will be racing at 2 o'clock on both days?
That is correct, and there has been a time change. The races have been moved back to 9 o'clock, and that was due to the high number of participants that signed up for this event, which we were happy for, and thus we had to move the times to accommodate all the racers that we have.
So how many participants are there? Do you know?
Well, what we get is we get a number of people registering for the various races, and we had 97 entries in races. Now you can have one musher doing multiple races, but we figure there's probably anywhere from 40 to 60 teams that'll be here for the weekend.
That's exciting. All right, then besides the activities out at Mound Bay Park, there are some things going on throughout the city too, as well. How about Saturday evening?
Some of the Legion has taken an active role in wanting to participate, and they're putting on what they're calling their first annual Winterfest dance.
And the live band?
Night. Yes.
Saturday night. And I noticed too that a lot of the restaurants are getting involved with special menus with discounted prices and that. So there's just a lot of things going around. And here we have a couple of the mushers. These gentlemen are going to be racing tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. And this is Matt. What's your last name, Matt?
Nystrom.
And
Dan Nystrom.
they are brothers, obviously, here. And so you're getting pretty excited about this race. Is this, like, how many races have you had so far?
This will actually be our first race.
Excellent. This is going to be fun for everyone to see then, right?
Yeah, nervous. Yeah,
Okay.
we're pretty on the edge. It's been a long time. We've been trying to get ready for it, but
And how long has it been?
well, we've never done it before, but we've been waiting since we got our first pups. It's been about 2 years.
2 years. So you started out with tiny little puppies, and you've been working with them. When do you start training them? How old do they have to be?
From what I've heard, it's between six to 8 months before you want to start really letting them pull it all. I started a little bit early. They say actually 8 months, but we started at 6 months with mine.
And how many dogs do you have?
Just the 4, running the 4 class.
Okay. So now, this sled that you have, is this some kind of a special sled for 4 dogs compared to someone that has like 8 dogs or whatever?
No, they're called sprint sleds. They're pretty lightweight. I think basically everyone out there this week will be having the same kind of sled as compared to very larger teams like the 10 or above, like they'd run at the Iditarod, is a toboggan type. And you can carry much more gear on that, but this is just basically for a short
races.
Short race, yeah.
How many people can ride on the sled that you have?
Oh, one
Just
or two. Usually there's not anyone with me, so
Okay.
I've taken my nieces and nephews for rides, but they handle that pretty good too.
Okay. So where are the dogs right now as we stand here in this hotel, a nice cozy and warm hotel? Where are your dogs?
I have mine at my other brother's in town, in Minneapolis here. He's got a fenced-in yard, so it's kind of convenient.
Oh, they can just run loose in the yard then?
Right.
Okay.
Some of these people that are traveling have them in their trucks, which we could do, but that's something we'll have to look into when we go to somewhere where we don't have that. So.
I understand, though, they enjoy being in the truck, too. They're just excited because they know they're going to be racing. Is that it?
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about these dogs. Do you get kind of a personal relationship with each one? Are they become real pets?
For us two right now, we're both married, but we don't have any kids, so our dogs are part of the family, and they come in at night with us. I'm not sure if everyone does that.
Oh, so they actually spend the night in the house,
Not
huh?
the whole night, but just they come in for about 20 minutes, half hour at a time, and then they want to go back outside.
Because you have to keep them weathered. I suppose they have to stay strong, used to the cold weather.
They like it better outside.
Okay. All right. So you'll be here now. You're staying at the hotel here. Oh, no, you're staying at your brother's. That's right.
Yeah, luckily we're from town, so this week anyway we have the convenience of being at home.
Well, that's good. Well, gee, I wish you both a lot of luck. It should be really fun to see you tomorrow, and I'll look forward to interviewing you tomorrow, too, after you win the race, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's really exciting to know that all different ages and groups of people are involved in this dog sled racing. Here we have a family, and where are you from?
Big Lake, Minnesota.
Big Lake. And you are?
Mike Congdon.
And this is your family, and
Lynn.
Lynn, and
Jean. Hi.
hi. Rita. That's Rita. And so tell me now, Jean, you are a dog sled racer, right?
Right.
Do you actually drive the dog sometimes?
Yes.
Do you? So how does that feel when you do that?
Fun.
Is it fun? Yeah. How many dogs?
She's done 2 and 3 with somebody to help.
Oh, okay. So what do you say, somebody to help? How would that be?
I rode along with her with the 3 dogs, and then she did the 2 dogs alone.
Okay. But tomorrow you're going to be racing, I understand. Is that correct? Tell me a little bit about that.
That'll be my first race. I don't know what to tell you about it. It'll be kind of exciting.
So, but you've been practicing for a long time. It's just
Since we've had snow, yeah.
okay. Oh, that makes a big difference, I'm sure. Was it real icy and less snow up in Big Lake too, like
No,
it's been?
we've had a fair amount, yeah. It's kind of soft the last couple of days. But
Now you've been involved in this. I take it a little bit longer, and you've been racing a little bit more. Or
Oh, this is all of our first year, and I raced last weekend up in Iron River, Wisconsin, and had a real good time and did real well. We figure we did well anyway. We finished and
and no problems
no
along the way,
problems.
so that's good.
Yeah, we had a good time doing it.
Okay. And then you're going to be racing again next week, you mentioned?
Yes, we're going to be up to Bemidji next weekend.
So this sounds like it's a kind of a all through the winter event, something going on like.
there's only a couple months of good snow, so it's about 8 weeks, I think, the season then.
Okay. So you take your family with you every time you do this?
Yeah, so far.
Great. And you really like getting out and doing all these fun things outdoors, huh? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Kids are a big help at the kennel at home too. They help feed the dogs and clean up, and even the little one, Rita, she's out there and she scoops the the food out of the buckets and into the dishes and stuff.
So these must be pretty gentle dogs. She's pretty little to be by those dogs, huh?
She handles herself pretty well.
Yeah. Are they quite gentle? Are they?
Yeah, yeah.
What kind do you have?
We have Alaskan Huskies.
Oh, okay. Do you have a name for all those dogs?
Yes.
Each one has their own name, and you know all their names by heart. Are they just like kind of like brothers and sisters to you?
Yes.
They're real special, huh?
She has
Yeah.
her favorite dog.
What's your favorite?
Onion.
Onion? Well, tomorrow you have to show me Onion, and we'll get Onion on tape too, okay? All right. Well, thanks a lot, and good luck tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
And now I'm going to interview a woman that has a lot to do with organizing this dog sled race. This is Robin, and she's the secretary of the North Star Sled Dog Club. That's a tongue twister. How long have you been involved with this?
As secretary 2 years, I've been involved in dogs since the blizzard of '91 here in Minnesota.
So
That's
you,
when I got involved in the sport.
and you've been actually racing. You have your own team too?
Right, I have my own team.
How many dogs do you have?
We have 15 in our kennel, and I race a 6-dog team. My husband also races 6 dogs.
Okay. Will you be racing tomorrow too?
Yep. I'm a
Excellent.
6-dog pro.
Good. Okay. Well, you know, now getting back to organizing some event like this, how long does it take? I mean, you've been doing this for weeks to get this one organized, or?
Back in August, I started sending letters to the different race-giving organizations that put on the race, so I was in communication with Mound for the race here. So I start back in Mound. We get things settled for insurance, and we need the race entry forms early so they can be published. We need information so we can get publicity to all the Dog Sled Club newsletters and information out there so mushers can come.
Well, so how many events do you actually take part in organizing then throughout the year?
Well, I'm involved in this one only, and there's people from the club that are helping with the other clubs or other races in the circuit.
I see. So
So
how
we
many?
share it.
Okay. And how many races will you actually be racing in this year?
As many as possible.
So it's in your blood, huh?
Right. Usually we race every weekend in January and February.
When the
so
snow
that's
is good.
right. So it's only like 8 weekends a year that we go through all this work.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's worth it. It's just so much fun.
Well, I imagine it really shortens up the winter for you,
it
doesn't
does.
it?
It just flies by. I hate that now.
Yeah. Now, how do you practice with these dogs when there isn't any snow?
Well, in the summer they're pretty much laid off. It's too hot to run them. They overheat. So in the summer they're on vacation. But then in like September and October we start training when the weather starts to cool down, and we train with a wheeled rig.
I see.
And that's when we start.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as there's enough snow that we can go to sled, we work and get speed up a little more and get ready for the first race.
Oh, this is great.
It's so fun.
Well, I'm so glad that the weather's going to be perfect this weekend.
Well, it's
huh?
going to really be a little warm.
Is
It could be about 20, 30 degrees colder.
For the dogs' sake?
For the dogs, right.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to, and for the trail, it's going to be a slow day tomorrow.
Okay.
But it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, at least you'll probably have a lot more people out there
Yeah,
watching.
We should. It'll be fun.
Well, it's been fun working with your group, and I'm looking forward to
great.
seeing you race tomorrow.
Okay, good.
We'll talk
Well,
to you
thanks
then.
a lot.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks. Well, this is really exciting. Now we have some people here from a long ways away. In fact, probably one of the places where dog racing just actually began, from
Tok, Alaska.
Tok, Alaska. And what is your name?
My name's Sandra Perry.
And yours?
I'm Roy Perry.
Roy. And so you two are related here, but you race against each other, I understand. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we do. I have my dogs on my side of the truck, and he has his on the other, and we do race against each other. But later on in the season, we will put together one 8-10 dog team, and then a 6.
So that'll be for like a long race, a real long race, or do you do short races most of the time?
It's the short ones. Right now, today or tomorrow will be a 4-dog, 6-dog, and 10 dog. I will run a 6, and he'll run a 6.
Okay. So now, did you bring those dogs all the way down, drive them all the way down, or did you, I mean, in your truck, or did you have them come on a train, or how did you get down here from Alaska?
No, we have a special built dog truck for them, and we have 23 dogs in the truck now.
Right now, they're outside in the truck.
Oh yeah, they're resting. they have a regular schedule they go through. It becomes their home. It's like a rolling hotel. And believe me, they eat better than we do on the road. But they enjoy it. They know race day. They know when we stop that truck and they hear the snaps, they know it's time to rest or do whatever. But they enjoy road trips better than we do.
You know, I have a question about those trucks. I'm trying to visualize. I haven't seen what they look like. Do they all have their own compartment, just like each dog has a dog house, or are they all loose to run around in there, or what?
No. Every musher, of course, has his own preferences, his own setup, pretty much. Our boxes are 2 foot by 2 foot inside, and they're a little bit longer than most people. And sometimes we put 2 dogs to a box. They get along, that is. And it's just like their doghouse at home, but mounted on a truck, basically. And we have there's 20 holes on our truck, and like I said, we have 23 dogs in there now, comfortably. And like I said, they're really comfortable in there.
And what kind of dogs do you have?
Well, you get asked that question a lot, and this is speed mushing that we do. And there's 3 different classes of dogs: distance, mid-distance, and speed. Well, that's a tough question.
Do you have a variety of breeds, mixed breeds?
Well, yes and no, but to a sprint musher, it's not a mixed breed. It's a definite breed. We have some dogs on there called Aurora Huskies. The term husky is basically a generic term for sled dogs, and you'd have to see it to understand it, so I'd recommend anybody come and see a race and ask.
Okay, well, I plan to do that tomorrow. I'm be anxious to do some more interviewing by some of your, well, you'll have the trucks right out there on the ice? Okay. Now, tell me a little bit about where you're from Alaska. What city did you say it is?
Tok, Alaska. It's approximately 90 miles from the Canadian border. So we're in that area. The interior, it's called that. Tok is cold. I talked to my sister. It's 42 below out right now. So.
But that's normal for you? You like it like that?
Yeah, that is normal. Why we are mostly here in this area is because Tok or Alaska in general has no snow. There's about 4 inches of snow. So before we left, we were still on the four-wheeler training. Very few people are on sleds training. So I was pretty impressed with what I did in Iron River, considering it was the second time on a sled. So it was.
So is that unusual for Tok, Alaska this time of year?
Yeah,
Extremely.
very, very.
Well, they have it all in New York.
Right, right.
Well, this is great. So do you enjoy getting on the road, going on these trips like this?
This is our first time coming down to the lower 48, as Alaskans call it. Otherwise, we race in Alaska, which is our season will start the races in about beginning of February is when our season starts. So.
And that'll run till when?
Maybe middle of April.
Okay. Well, good luck with this. It's going to be really fun to see you out there tomorrow, and I suppose it's going to be way too warm for you. It's supposed to be about almost 40 degrees tomorrow, they said. Did you know that? 40 above.
Yeah, I know.
At home, we don't even train until it drops below 40. So but the humidity is a factor, too, that governs how a dog runs. We're not going to do anything that's going to harm our dogs.
Sure.
I mean, if it's too warm, we'll scratch. And the race officials here know that too, so they're not going to allow anything to happen to any of the dogs. Safety first, because we can make decisions, and we make decisions for the dogs, so it's the dog's safety comes first.
And your dogs, the ages of your dogs, are they all different, or are they about how old?
Anywhere from 2 to 5 years old, and we have some that are a little younger we brought just to get road experience, but we don't race them at all.
I see. So they get the experience of riding in the truck and that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Well, they're kind of like your family, aren't they? You get so close to them.
They're
No.
not kind of like they are.
They are.
We have a 9-year-old
Okay.
boy at home that he races also, and he knows they're part of our family, and he calls them our kids.
That's great. That's great. And someone else mentioned that they do allow their dogs in the house in the evening for a little while. You do that too?
Once in a while.
Well, it's really fun to get to know you people, you mushers, so that we can kind of get a chance to experience what that kind of living is like too, you know?
It's different.
Yeah, also too, you asked about Tok, Alaska. Tok, Alaska in March, the end of March, I'm president of Tok Dog Mushers, and we do have a very large race there. It's called Tok Race of Champions, which is a 6-dog class, 8-dog class, and an open class. And the purse is nice. It's a $25,000 purse. It just, especially the open class, you get Roxy Wright, Terry Streeper, Eddie Streeper, all your big-time open class people, and it's kind of the last race to see who's going to win versus the cash isn't the most important thing there. It's the who's going to win on that one. So it's pretty exciting, especially it's all along the road. This whole race is along the highway.
Oh.
And whenever the open class people start, everybody runs out to the bridge. It's a traditional in their trucks, and come back and watch passing going on, and it's pretty impressive because they'll run anywhere from 12 on up to 22 dogs. Terry's run 22 dogs, I believe.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
it's
sounds
good.
really exciting. Well, I can tell it's really in your blood, and it's good that you're able to come down here and show us Minnesotans what it's all about. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm Kathleen Marie, and this is Bert Larson.
Hi.
Bert and I are out here enjoying this wonderful, almost 40-degree weather that's going
Right, it
on
is.
today. And there must be, I bet, I would say must be about 100 different vehicles full of dogs for the dog sled races.
Right.
I want to just kind of touch on a little bit about, I know you've been doing some studying, Bert, as to the whole idea of this Winterfest. Tell me, as one of the original Lions.
Try to remember it
Try
that
to
way
remember.
back in the 50s.
Right, okay. Have you ever seen an event like this before?
I haven't been to one like this before. No, this is my first experience at it, and already, even though it's just the beginning, looks so interesting. I'm going to enjoy the whole day.
Yeah.
Would you like a little background of the Winterfest?
Let's do it. I'm sure our
Okay.
audience would like to hear some.
The fundraiser for the Westonka Recreation Association Park is what the Winterfest is. And the idea originated with the Northwest Tonka Lions Club in 1987. But due to a change in state laws relative to gambling, where they couldn't use pull tabs for the profit to get money from they had to form a corporation which included members from the Lions, the Rotary Club, the VFW, businessmen in town, and they're the ones that are actually the unit that is behind this whole event. But the Northwest Tonka Lions, the Maple Plain Lions, the St. Bonnie Lions are all assisting in.
The money they make on this event goes to the Diabetes Fund.
Yes, part of it does, as far as I know. Right.
Good. We got a little noise here. Little snowmobilers.
Right.
Okay.
And of course, we got the noise of the barking dogs in the background. Whether it's coming through on the mic or not, I don't know.
Well,
but
they're excited. They want to run. I was talking to one of the mushers last evening, and he said that the dogs know how to learn right and left, but they don't know how to learn stop. So they just want to go all the time.
Sure.